All right, folks, God bless you. Welcome to This Is It. It's our little victory cheer because the only victory we're going to have, there's only one way, is through Christ. And that's my little victory cheer. Christ's purpose was to make one new man from the two, thus making peace. The reason he was crucified between two different thieves represents your condition. And there was one on the right, there was one on the left. Christ in the middle, reconciling both back to himself through the cross, reconciling you back to the Father. That's why Christ is the Father and the Son, and he's in the middle, and he wants to give you the Holy Spirit by getting you inverted, converted, and right back to him. All right, guys, the mystery solved. Let me show you what's going on. There is a lot stacking up. No pun intended, but watch what I'm going to show you. I'm going to set the stage for some biblical prophecy that the Lord keeps showing me. It looks like it is the perfect storm for these things to happen. So just pay attention, watch. All right. What I was showing you was just a little set of diagrams that I've been looking at that are showing the eventuality of what they're trying to show the public. The eventuality, which means what's eventually going to happen or be the end result, if you will, of the volcanic eruption in La Palma. And that eventuality, what they're saying is if La Palma slides off into the ocean, it could create a huge tsunami. And one thing that I find extremely fascinating about all of that is Revelation 8 and what is said in Revelation 8 and what is being presented to you on the nightly news and I call it front loading. Some people call it gaslighting. What it really is Satan, to show he's in control. He's the serpent. Remember the serpent race. Satan and the serpent and the dragon and the devil, it's all synonymous. Revelation 12. And that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. Okay, and his angels with him. Okay, so let me show you something that's going on here real quick. So what's been popping around the internet for weeks and weeks, even over a couple months now, is there's a supply chain problem. Okay, so I'm going to show you some images and I'll show you some articles right here. It says nearly 500,000 shipping containers are stuck off the coast of Southern California. And now this was October 6, 2021, 8:55 a.m. And if you look out here, you'll see that there's all these ships that are parked off the coast of California. Well, it's not just the coast of California. It's Oregon. It's the coast of Galveston. It's New York. All these ports are just backed up. And it's like you see right here in this image. Let me show you some more pictures. Okay, so here's an aerial view of some of these ports and the shipping containers, or the ships, I'm sorry, that carry all these shipping containers are just backing up. Well, let me show you an image of some of the ports. So if you see, look at the ports and you see the shipping containers are stacking up, and I've seen videos on TikTok and I've seen other videos from actual crane operators that have gone to their unit that they're supposed to be operating, and they'll pull out their video camera and they'll go, what's going on? And there's only a couple cranes that are actually moving when there's hundreds of cranes that could be working. There's only a few. Like it's planned out. Like Why wouldn't you have all these cranes moving, unloading all this stuff, putting it on trucks to get it out so the ships could come in? That doesn't make any sense, right? You guys have seen the news. Oh, Biden just can't handle the supply chain crisis and blah blah blah, unless it's orchestrated by the angel of the bottomless pit. Because if you look at everything in a biblical worldview instead of a secular worldview, everything will make sense. When you try and look at it as a secular worldview, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But now, let's look at the bigger picture. Okay, so all these ports now are filled. All they can't unload containers. They're backed up. There's no place to put them. They've reached capacity. They're not getting out of there. Then you have all these ships that are sitting out on the water with all these containers. Nearly 500,000 shipping containers are stuck off the coast of Southern California as of October 6th. I mean, it's very obvious there's a serious problem going on, and it's no big secret. Everybody knows this. But let me show you what's going on in the Bible, what the Bible says. And let's do a little postulating for just a moment. Okay, so let's do Revelation 8, which is right before Revelation 9. And in Revelation 9, we know that there's a great earthquake. Smoke arises out of the pit because the bottomless pit is open, because the earthquake is so great that the bottomless pit is open now. And out of the pit comes smoke, and the sun and the air are darkened by the smoke, and then out of the smoke come locusts upon the earth. And this is what I've been warning everybody about, and I've been showing everybody the right side up, upside down system from the beginning of the world till the end of the world is what's created this locust army that's coming out of the pit. That's what the whole world's really all about. This is the mystery of God. This is God's mystery that is finally revealed in the end of the world. And I'm the guy that the Lord gave the information to. You can either believe that or don't. All you have to go do is look at the track record. Just go look at the information that the Lord's let me deliver to you. Okay, here you go. Ready? Let's look at Revelation 8. This is so fascinating, guys. Pay attention. Here we go.
Revelation 8. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer, and filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the 3rd part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the 2nd angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the 3rd part of the sea became blood. And the 3rd part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the 3rd part of the ships were destroyed. And the 3rd angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the 3rd part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the 3rd part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the 4th angel sounded, and the 3rd part of the sun was smitten, and the 3rd part of the moon, and the 3rd part of the stars, so as the 3rd part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a 3rd part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels, which are yet to sound. Revelation 9. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it there for just a moment. I went all the way through Revelation 8. I stopped at Revelation 9. I can show you in the Vatican the building that's built in the shape of Satan, because Satan is the serpent. So if the Vatican's built in the shape of a serpent wearing a crown, we might as well just call it Satan wearing a crown, because Satan is the serpent. So the Vatican is Satan wearing a crown in the form of a serpent. Also makes a dragon as well. Let me show you something. Let me show you a couple pictures again. There's a bunch of cargo shipping containers. There's all these cargo ships that are all lined up out at sea now. Hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of them just stuck out, sitting in the ocean. It's interesting that in Revelation 8, when all hell starts breaking loose, and a third part of the ships were destroyed, it's really interesting because it also says, as it were, when the second angel sounded, as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. Well, that's really interesting, because now I want to show you something. When you have a bunch of ships sitting out at sea and they're all accumulated in a big pack all together like that, well, if there was a big tsunami because a big chunk of an island called La Palma fell into the sea, accompanied maybe by nukes that may have been planted in the water, because the bombings are on the $100 bill and the $10 bill, which the Lord let me prophesy in 2007. And behold, the hand of the oppressor has been lifted against you, and out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea. Remember those words? Wow, it looks like you got a perfect stage set for it, because now you have all these ships. They're all sitting ducks, aren't they? If there were to be a giant tsunami, none of these could get out of the way, could they? And you have the perfect setup. But the question is, how could Satan time it? You know what I mean? Like, how's he going to time the whole thing? Well, he could cause a supply chain disaster, because he works through humans. That's the way Satan, the serpent race, operates. And he could shut down the supply chain thing, get everybody backed up in the ocean, right? Then you could use La Palma, but you would have to have a way to get that going, especially if you really had some nukes that were planted in the water. That's because the $100 bill and the $10 bill I've already shown you. They show New York being destroyed by a devouring wind and a tidal wave. I'm going to show you the video I did when the $100 bill came out, which was 7 years after I prophesied what would happen. The actual words that came out of my mouth ended up printed on a $100 bill. I wonder what the odds are. So anyway, so here we go. There's all the ships. Now let's look at. So here you go on this earthquake map that shows earthquakes, and it has a worldwide categorization of the earthquakes that occur, the depth at which they occur, the magnitude at which they occur, the region at which they occur, the time and date at which they occur. Right here is La Palma, and I'm going to show you this in comparison to other sites. But as you see the big red cluster of earthquakes where the volcano is as well, because all these articles I showed you previously shows that all this seismic activity is occurring, but as you zero in, a very interesting thing happens that is happening in one other side I noticed. The earthquakes seem to be lining up in amazingly organized fashion. And having taken geology and part of that geology I took in school, knowing about PS&L waves in volcanoes and the way, and I'm sorry, in earthquakes, and the way they radiate out from their source, to be looking at a graph, to be looking at a pattern of earthquakes that fits a graph is impossible. Y'all know that, right? Unless there was some kind of a directed energy that was doing it. So let's just take a look at that. Let's look at those earthquakes and look at the lines that you could draw between these and line them up as if they were being directed by some source. I find that just mind boggling because I've gone to other locations and I've looked at other places where there's seismic activity. And if you do this yourself and you go around the world and you pick one of these hot spots, and as you look at it, you'll see that they don't line up like a graph pattern. However, I found one other place where they are lining up like a graph pattern. Now, I haven't done a complete extensive search on everything, but I have done enough due diligence to notice there's a big difference between here and other places. Well, that's fascinating because there's a bunch of ships parked out in the ocean, which is something that hasn't really happened, as far as I know, not in my lifetime, where all these ships are like sitting ducks. Now, if there were to be a big wave, a big tsunami, which is printed on the $10 bill, and the destruction of these coastal cities, which is printed on the $100 bill, then Revelation 8 would happen relatively easy, wouldn't it? It sure would, because they're all sitting there ready to be destroyed because they're all sitting together. Do y'all know why the term sitting duck comes from? I've actually been duck hunting in my life, and my son one time shot a duck, and the duck had come in and landed on the pond, and he shot him. My son was very young. I think he was 8 years old. And I said, yeah, if you want to get your first duck, go ahead and shoot him. And it's a lot easier shot to shoot him when he's sitting on the pond as opposed to flying by. He was 8 years old. I said, if you want to shoot your duck, go ahead. And he did, and he shot it. So it was a pretty easy shot, and he got his first duck. That's why they call it a sitting duck, because it's an easy shot. It's an easy kill. So anyway, so I just find it fascinating. And I'm just saying, wonder what the odds are that, having looked at other places on the map, that they don't make the same grid pattern. But when you look at La Palma and you look at the different, this is I think this is one of the other places we looked at and that had a similar pattern. Oh, that's right, it was in Hawaii. Hawaii was manifesting kind of a similar pattern. You can see if you look right here and you go up and you go down like you have a piece of graph paper, it's starting to look vaguely similar to La Palma. But what's interesting is right now in Hawaii they have a volcano popping off there in Japan, but Japan doesn't seem to be having a bunch of earthquakes either. I went and looked. Anyway, I just find it absolutely convenient that at this time in history right now, when there's this push to make sure everyone gets a little bit of iron in their diet, like iron mixed with miry clay, I find it fascinating, don't you? That all these boats just happen to be sitting out on the ocean like sitting ducks. Man, how easy would it be to take those out if that was your goal? I mean, if your goal was to take these out, that'd be a super great way to do it, don't you think? And it's interesting because it says, and the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. Well, that's interesting because these headlines in La Palma and all this other station that says alert situation due declared due to seismic activity, and it says that if La Palma slid off into the ocean, it would create a huge tsunami. And what's fascinating is in Revelation 8, right after it says, when this great mountain of burning fire was cast into the sea and the third part of the sea became blood, that a third of the creatures died, and then a third of the ships were wiped out with it. Now let's go look at that $100 bill thing that the Lord let me show everybody in 2007, because it sure looks like we're poised in position and ready to see that. I don't know for sure. Nobody ever knows until it happens. But you can't argue with the fact that there's a bunch of dominoes sitting out there in the ocean. Can't argue with the fact that there's a grid pattern set up on earthquakes. And I can tell you that from having suffered through some geology finals, and there's nothing that I ever saw in earthquakes and studying earthquakes that would ever suggest that earthquakes could pop off in a grid pattern. No. No. No, 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 no. 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 Okay. So anyway, just saying. Okay, so now here's another thing I wanted to show you guys, something the Lord showed me. A lot of people, oh, it's the Illuminati, Illuminati. Right there is some of the way the Illuminati likes to brand themselves. And if you watch like the movie Angels and Demons or whatever, what was it? Yeah, whatever that movie was with Tom Hanks. Anyway, but Da Vinci Code, there you go. Anyway, in one of the movies, he even pulls out that same piece of paper like that, and they're talking about, oh, this is how they write their name forward and backwards, right, right. Because what the Lord's let me share with you, if you don't really understand it, literally has busted every single super secret organization in the world, like the Illuminati. Why do you think the Illuminati writes their name forward the same as backwards? Like if you turn it upside down and back, it's the same upside down and backwards. See, Illuminati. And if you flip it upside down, it says the same thing upside down and backwards. Do you know why? Because they know the big secret. They know the secret. Remember Jesus right side up on the cross, Peter upside down on the cross? You flip it. Oh, they know the big secret that everyone's really worshiping Lucifer. This is Lucifer's playground. That's what the earth is. Why do you think the heaven is my throne? The earth is my footstool. Footstool. So it's fascinating now. So now every Illuminati or Freemason organization, their big secret, now you know it. That's the reason they write Illuminati like that. They know this. And they know that everyone doesn't really know it, but they're worshiping Lucifer, even when they're going to churches and they think they know what they're doing. They never knew the truth, and the truth would set them free. It's pretty wild, isn't it? Okay. So now Dave the Wave and Jim from the Ark and Robert Chandler. Sorry, sometimes people don't like me, throwing kudos at them, but hey, they did a phenomenal job. Robert put it all together, and Jim and these guys and the guys at the Ark, they've been transcribing all these videos that I've done for years, thousands, 1,500 plus videos, radio shows, transcribing them so you have like a document you can read to memorialize all this information, all the truth the Lord showed me. So I'm going to show you guys in a standalone video how to navigate the CLEC files, because they did a video to show you exactly how to get all the information. All the videos I've done on the channel that was taken down, they're all memorialized. They're all still available. So we're going to show you how to get the CLEC files and how you can get all the information, put it on your computer so you can have it without having to go online to get it. how to use the collect files so you can go back and find all the information yourself. You can go send it out to people, put it on a drive and send it out to anyone you want to have all of it. Super cool. All right, and I just want to thank Robert and Jim and all the guys at the Ark that helped work on this project. Thank you guys so much. Unbelievable. They've done a phenomenal job. All right. Anyway, I wanted to share with you guys this first because it sure looks like the stage is set, doesn't it? I mean, come on. Look at all the stuff that the Lord's let me show you, aka going and getting the shipping containers even and delivering them to the Ark, making a U-turn on Highway 50 right after dominant ruler gets crushed by a boulder. I mean, it's like, wow. You can't even think this stuff up. So anyway, it's getting exciting, guys. The King's coming. I hope you guys know in your heart of hearts Jesus is coming. There's no way you would ever know unless you've been turned up. How would you know? Well, the way I know is because I have the key of David. The Lord had me turn the whole world upside down so I could see it. Just like the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. Except I'm not in some back room doing the evil that they do. Jesus said, I've done nothing in secret. I do everything out in public. I show everybody what the Lord shows me. You don't have to go join some secret Illuminati Freemason club to find out the secret now. Just look at the way they wrote the word, and that gives them away. The way they wrote the word gives them away. There you go. Ready? Thank you, Dave. Dave put this together for you guys. There's a little gift. There's the secret of all secrets. And you've been worshiping Lucifer in one way, shape, or form. Most people their whole lives and didn't even know it, even going to church. You never got the right Jesus. Jesus is the one that turns the world upside down. That's why the Bible says, these that have turned the world upside down have come hither also. Acts 17:6, when Paul and Silas go into Thessalonica. Even Paul said in Acts 26, when he's talking to Agrippa, he was chosen by God to call him from darkness to light, from the power of Satan to God. It's so obvious now. That's why the Illuminati uses this. We're the enlightened ones. I got news for you, Chief Johnny. The Lord sent Johnny to kind of crush your whole little secret club. Sorry, guys. No one needs a membership anymore. Aww. All right. I love it. I love it. They're toast. The only thing they had going for them was their big secret. The big secret's out now. You want to know how to see the truth in this world? Invert it, and you'll see the truth. That's why an image of the virgin is a dead sheep. You're the dead sheep. The reason it's a virgin, the angels that wanted to come into the system and be able to have sex, aka virgin, then you came in, you got your energy's been used during the entire system. You get injected into a host body. You get to live out your life. And if you don't get converted, and I mean turn the opposite direction, you don't get turned quite around before you die, you are done. Here's the big secret. Just like Illuminati. There you go. You know it now. That's it. Okay, now, let me show you the video I did back in 2014 when the new $100 bill came out. And I had already prophesied in 2007, behold, the hand of the oppressor has been lifted against you, and out of the sea shall come fire and smoke, and a devouring wind, water as high as the walls of Jerusalem, will cover the city by the sea, and great shall be the destruction of that city. Okay, that's part of the prophetic utterance. Let's have a look at it now that the stage is all perfectly set for it. I mean, do I know it's going to happen for sure? No, nobody does. Do I think it's a high possibility any second? Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to turn the volume down on this video, and then I'm just going to show you the imagery. Here we go. Ready? And I'll just talk during it. Here we go. So here's the $10 bill. There's the tidal wave coming over as a 7-story building. There's the tidal wave. It's black. There it is. And the sky's orange because it's nuclear radiation. There's a tidal wave coming over. And now on my finger, I covered up the reflection of that building in the water. So when I move my finger, that's the reflection of that building in the water right there. That's what those lines are right there. See it? Okay, so now the $100 bill had come out, and I was like, guys, I put in there the prophetic utterance that the Lord gave me, and so I documented that prophetic utterance when I did it, and so let me actually show it to you right now. Here we go. It's coming, I guarantee it. The prophetic utterance the Lord gave me in 2007, it is, many of those things have already happened. This is the end of it. Get ready.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, the hand of the oppressor has been lifted against you. And out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem shall cover the city by the sea, and great shall be the destruction of that city. And behold, the man of peace, Barack Hussein Obama, and with words of peace he will bring chaos and destruction.
Gonna pause it right there. Who do you think's running the White House these days? Do you think it's Let's Go Brandon? Do you think it's Let's Go Brandon? That guy can't tie his damn shoe. He's just a puppet to throw under the bus so they can crash the whole thing down. They can blame it all. Oh, look at Biden, he's messing up. They're probably laughing at him. I can't even imagine what a joke Biden is to his handlers. It's pathetic. Here we go. Let's keep watching. Here's the $100 bill, and there's 3 different layers of ink, and you'll see those different layers of ink in this video, and it is literally the words that came out of my mouth in 2007 and 2014 got printed on a $100 bill. Fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Watch those buildings disintegrate with the 3 different layers of ink that are printed on that bill. Just watch. Here we go. Buildings right here. See the buildings right here? Okay, you see all this ink right here that makes the unidirectional lines? There's darker ink in certain spots. You'll see it. Okay, these unidirectional lines is movement towards the subject, which is us. As I change the magnification, you're going to see all of this. All of this is going to turn to waves coming in from those nukes that went down, and they're going to be destroying the city. Watch. There it goes. There it is. See it? See how it changed? See how it gets all fluffy? Okay, now imagine this. In 2007, I said, behold, the hand of the oppressor has been lifted against you, and out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem, and it's printed on the U.S. currency. There's the fire and smoke and devouring wind right there. Look. Boom. There it is. Buildings being wiped out. There it is. Folks, that's just not arguable. Well, the $10 bill came out too. It's got a tidal wave covering a 7-story building. When I prophesied, when I said water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea, I had no waters. I didn't even know what it meant. I was like, what does that mean? And then the $10 bill has a tidal wave going over a 7-story building. And the Lord led me to look up the height of the walls of Jerusalem. Some parts, they're 72 feet. There's parts that are lower. There's 72 feet where there's like a high wall. And then there's a part that's over 100 feet where there's a cliff. 72 feet, guys. That's a 7-story building. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem. And here we go. Let's look at that 7-story building right. Here we go, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a 7-story building with a tidal wave. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem. That's crazy. There's a tidal wave going over a 7-story building. I mean, I don't know what else to say except there it is. It's like it's right there. It's on the $10 bill. Oh, because the U.S. currency notes, like the $20 bills, the 20 made in 1996, before the Twin Tower bombing, it had the Pentagon bombing on it and the Twin Towers on one bill on 9/11. You know, 9/11. September 11th, which also is, they had a king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit. Who had a king over them? The serpent race that's doing all this crap. That's it. And now they're busted. Illuminati! It's like, whatever. Okay, let's go back and let's watch this thing. happen. Watch. The subject, which is us. As I change the magnification, you're going to see all of this. All of this is going to turn to waves coming in from those nukes that went down, and they're going to be destroying the city. Watch. There it goes. There it is. See it? See how it changed? See how it gets all fluffy? Boom. There it is. Buildings being wiped out. There it is. See the water? That's water. I'm going to go back. Look. There it is. Now picture the water coming at you. Boom. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. You're looking at the exact words that came out of my mouth, printed on the U.S. currency note. That's a devouring wind. There's fire and smoke and a devouring wind. And then there's a tidal wave on the $10 bill. Isn't it convenient that right now, as we speak, you have all these guys just parked off all the coasts, the eastern seaboard, the Gulf Coast, the West Coast, and they're just sitting out there. And in Revelation 8, it says, and there was a great mountain burning with fire was cast in the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And it just happens to be a really nice setup right now. I mean, I don't know. Is the Illuminati behind it? Enough with the Illuminati. The Illuminati is the serpent race. Okay? They turn everything upside down. Woe unto them who go to great depths to hide their plans from the Lord. Their works are in the darkness. And they say, who seeth us? Who knoweth us? Illuminati! No, it's the serpent race. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Genesis 2, what the Lord God made when he breathed into man a living soul, the potter's clay, when he formed his man, Adam. Genesis 1 was the bait race. That was, let's make a man in our vain show, representative figure, especially an idol by Elohim. And it's the glory of Elohim to conceal a matter, Proverbs 25. And was it they concealed everything? How'd they do it? They turned it upside down. What'd they conceal? That this is Lucifer's playground. And if you're here, you got to get converted just to get the hell out of here. That's the big secret. Why do you think Jesus came? Okay, the mystery solved. Proven. Not just solved, proven using the Word of God. Woo! Oh, that feels good. It feels so good. All right, so anyway, I'm just going to leave you guys with this one for right now. Just have a look yourself. It looks like one heck of a setup, doesn't it? Revelation 8. As it were, a great mountain burning with fire, cast in the sea. Third part of the ships were destroyed. There's a bunch of ships sitting in the ocean, and there's the big alert situation because the whole thing might slide off and go into the sea and create a massive tsunami. And it looks like they've already printed it on the U.S. currency, so I'm sure it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, they had the Twin Towers printed on the old 20, on the $20 bill. It happened. They had the Pentagon printed on the same 20. It happened. On the old $20 bill, they had the federal building printed. It happened. You turn the bill over, it showed the federal building blown in half. That happened. So why wouldn't it happen if they have, a tidal wave and on the 10 and the $100 bill has buildings being destroyed by, a violent nuclear wind? It's all a setup, that's why. And I wonder what's with the big grid pattern on the earthquakes. Boy, that's an interesting pattern, guys. It's like, whatever. All right, I want to mock them a little bit. They're idiots. Okay, they're caught. The Lord God caught them, and I'm here to prove it. By me seeing it and me knowing it, that means if I know it, I'm sure the boss knows it, don't you think? Yeah. All right, guys. Love you in Christ. Let's get a bear hug going. All right. Now, don't forget, Tammy and Cammy, Happy Hippie Crochets. If you guys want your beanies, I love you guys. Peace and grace. There's a big hug from me to you. It's going to be okay. If you're in Christ, you're good. All right. Then I'm going to let this load up, and then I'm going to take the video that the guys made in at the Ark, and I'm going to load up the collect files. The most valuable information on the planet. It's more valuable. It doesn't matter if you could not buy the information in the collect files. It's not for sale. It's free. It's free for the world. The Lord gave it to me, and I'm giving it to you. He gave it to you through me. It's a gift from God. That's why my name means Yahweh has given. It's a gift from the Lord God through me to you. All glory to God. Thank you, Jesus. Give the glory to Jesus. He's the one that made it available to all of us. Amen. All right. Let's do it.